We are back in Canada. It's really short, actually. It says 2 hours. It says we're 2 hours from home. I didn't realize it was that much shorter. On our way back to Guelph, Ontario, we're just talking about, finished up with the 2-year-olds. Want to talk about the 3-year-olds. And I told you guys, I gave you a pretty in-depth video of where everybody was and how far away from the races they were the other day. So I'll just go through quickly and touch on a number of them. Absolute Euphoria, probably 3-4 weeks away from being really ready to rock, and we wanted to make sure we strengthen that knee up along the way. So she's been great and has looked great since coming out of the pool and getting a clean bill of health, x-ray wise. What's wrong? Yes. I got one better than pretzels. There. Gummy, yeah. So, Absolute Euphoria. She'll be fine, or she is fine, and she's training down right now. I suspect she'll be ready to go right when we need her to be. Austral Hanover has been great now. He wasn't great the other day. He made a break the other day, but I'm not too worried about it. As I said to Cindy, put a little blister on the horse. You know, he'll be fine. I tell you what it is telling. I told you how well he trained the week before and how strong he was. So then when they come back with a lackluster training trip after that, it makes me wonder if maybe that was a little much for him. And since we have tons of time, just back him up a little bit. Rather than looking to go in 2:15 or 2:20 at 1.5 miles this week, maybe I'll back him up to 25 and keep him comfortable. Brace for Landing has been great. I can't wait to train him on Saturday. I really want to start pushing him a little bit, getting some muscle on him. Amy's promised she's going to start feeding him 1 can of feed and 1 can of bran at 10:30 in the morning, in accordance to the rest of the feedings he has. We're going to try and put some weight on him. The way we're going to do that, Amy, is what? 1 can of feed and 1 can of bran. The reason I say it like that is Amy likes to just give him a half a can of bran. I'll just give him a little porridge. The bran, we're trying to put weight on it. Full can feed for him. Okay, good talk. So Brace for Landing, I can't wait to see how he trains on, when are we training? Tuesday?
You said Saturday, so I don't know.
I said what Saturday?
You said you can't wait to train him on Saturday.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Oh, that's my mistake. Tuesday, we'll train him. Yeah, Tuesday, I can't wait to train him. Carter Michael Dio, Dominic said, has been around 16, 17, but still a ways from the race. Hey, Carter, 2 wins, right? Carter, I won one with Dave. Yeah, he's only got 2 wins. He fits in Elmworths of 3. You know, Spitfire fits in Elmworths of 3 or 4. So, I mean, there's classes to race those horses. You look at poor buggers like Austral and Tailgate Buzz. As I said in an earlier video, we really got to pay attention to where they fit, and where they're ready to race, and where they're ready to race. So Carter Michael Dio, training down good, and I know that James said both him and Spitfire trained like monsters 2 weeks ago. I haven't sat behind either of them just yet. Gone with Crime, been the only one that's gone with Crantini, and he's getting close also. Closer, 5 weeks for Crantini. So Carter Michael Dio will, again, 3 weeks, I think, probably 4 weeks for that guy. Cash Deals schooled yesterday. Now Emily had sent Mario had sent Emily and Kirby down with Cash Deals. Austin Story went with Cash Deals, and by all accounts, Emily said she went a good mile. 1 mile and 2.3, but I just wanted to keep her tight. I don't want to go in, and yes, she's racing at Flamborough. She's not going to Mohawk, where they might go in 56, 57. It's not going to happen. She's going back to Flamborough to race next Sunday, and I want to make sure she comes in tight. So we did. We put her on Lasix. We schooled her yesterday on Lasix. She schooled well. She'll race next Sunday at Flamborough Downs. Columbus, are we going to school him or qualify him on Thursday? I'll leave that up to Jason. I think I'm going to qualify Full Heart because I don't think there's anything we can teach Full Heart. She's not really in that teaching mood and never has been. So she was a tiny bit subdued the other day, and I was very happy with how she trained. But again, that's by myself, with no other kids on the playground, no other horses around to train with, and no starting gate. How is she going to be when she sees both? I don't know. We'll see this Thursday. And plus, we took the hobbles off her. Yes, she got a little bumpy, starting out her mile, going into the turn. Again, if she's going to allow me to control her a little bit, then I'll get her around without hobbles on. I'm certain of that, and I'm certain she can probably race without them. But if she's going to be hot, bothered, and crazy and make a break, then yeah, she's going to have the hobbles back on. Coupe de Ville. I jumped over a couple of horses here. No, I didn't. Columbus. So we'll see if Columbus qualifies Thursday. I'll leave that up to Jason. Coupe de Ville, I thought trained like a monster the other day. But I do think maybe a schooler is more intact for her because one, we took the hobbles off her, and two, I went a great mile, but the next mile, as I just said about Austral. Ava, turn that down, sweetheart, please. She's got it loud, yeah.
Why do you have it so loud?
Well, I did too. What are you going to do? Got to listen loud. So Coupe de Ville, again, as I said it with Austral, the training trip after a faster or harder training mile is very telling. You know, do they feel strong? Do they feel comfortable? Or do they feel a little rickety? They feel a little tight over the back. So it's very telling. If we go with her and school her on Thursday and she doesn't feel as good as she did last week, then we know maybe back her up for a week or two and then we'll start with her again. Crantini, I'm going to train him again on Tuesday. I suspect I'm probably going to go a mile and a half, around 218, 220 speed with him. Amy said he touched himself right hind and had a little mark on his right front the other day. I'm not worried about either, but I suspect both will be good as he goes on Tuesday. I'll let you know how he feels in that mile, but he's been very strong and very attentive. You know, I'm not going to say he's A+ focus-wise, but for him, where he was and where he is, infinitely different. Cunning Connie. Now, Dominic was straight up, said she trained a little flat the other day. That's fine. It's all right. She's not going to train great all the time. So I said to him, if my memory serves me right with Cunning Connie, when she starts to come into season, into heat, she can turn into a real cow. And from where he said she was training great to where she's training now, I know he drew blood. Her AST wasn't bad. Her AST, if her AST, it's okay. It's gone. I ate all 35 pieces of those junk food gummies. Silly. But if Cunning Connie went from training down pretty good to she was just okay the other day, I think I know the culprit. It's not lameness, you know. You can treat her for EPN, but I'm pretty sure I know the culprit. She's just horsing a little bit. Cutie Cumber trained good the other day, but again, probably 4 weeks away for this filly. She's a bigger, heavier set filly than the other ones. Leaps and bounds, a lot more frail and streamlined than her. Trained very good. Cunning Connie, or Cutie Cumber was right behind me, but again, as much as I thought Leaps and Bounds trained good, as much as I like her, she's not supposed to beat Cutie Cumber at all. So probably 3 or 4 weeks of training for Cutie Cumber. Five Fish Species trained the other day, trained good, but again, still quite a ways from being ready to qualify, but looks good from what I'm told. Full Heart, as I said, will likely just go right out and qualify on Thursday. I don't really see any need to school her. She's not the schooling type, as I said, hot, but she was good the other day. If she comes into that schooler and she behaves in the schooler the way she trained, I think we could be on the verge of having a decent race filly. But if she reverts back to that default piggery that she's known for in the past of, you know, flipping out, running away, and being hard to control and shutting her air off, well, she may not be with us long. So we'll see. Full Heart, though, I'm optimistic. I thought she trained very, very well the other day. Gandalf the Black looked amazing. He is, for the people that didn't know this, he is paid in the Spring Series and was always paid in the Spring Series. And that goes at the start of April. This horse could be any kind of colt. He looked extremely good. And James had nothing but flattering praise for Gandalf the Black after his schooler and his qualifier. High Enterprise, again, hobbles, no hobbles, qualify school. I think this is a discussion for Jason and I to have over the weekend and into the first part of the week. The only reason I say are we gonna qualify her would be, all right, that's enough, you gotta leave, type of qualifier. So I thought she trained very well 2 weeks ago. Thought she was a little flatter, but, and there is a but, a little lackluster in the turns, and not rough or interfering, but geared down in the turns, which is an obvious indicator that her feet are probably bothering her a little bit. She just did have a set of trotting swedges on up front, so I spoke to Jason in the blacksmith the other day. We were going to instantly put some flip-flops on her and train her again this week. So what we might see is just hobbles. We get the flip-flops on, hobbles, put the proper gear on her head pole. We'll probably change and turn into a roller burr left, Murphy blind left, flip-flops, trotting hobbles, and then away you go. Let's see how she schools. So as I talk more about it, I think she'll probably go with the schoolers this week and qualify. Horn Player made a break yesterday for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. My biggest thing is, I don't think this is a filly we keep paid into the Breeders' Crown first time. I think there's probably going to be some tinkering with some staking schedules. When I get home, I'm going to pour over every single horse tonight, make sure we're going in the right direction. And a horse like Warren Player will probably take out of the Breeders' Crown, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to be a special type of horse. And again, it's early in the year, but there should be indicators that at some point along the line, this is going to be a 53 trotter if we're going to talk about Breeders' Crown. And I just don't see that from her just yet. There's nothing wrong with what she's doing or where she's going, but I just don't see the Breeders' Crown being the place that she's going to be going. Landing Pad, little concern with Landing Pad. Dominic said, a little bumpy. And, Dominic's the type of guy, he would tinker with him till 2026. And that's not going to happen. I might just bring that horse right over to Northfield Park and put the full court press on him for the next 3 weeks, changing gear, change his shoes, screw him in as tight as we can, make sure he does his work, and then say, okay, listen, fella, we put all the effort we put into this horse. We worked hard on him. We just want to see some reciprocation. And I haven't seen it yet. I see flashes of talent and speed, but those are the same flashes we've seen from other horses in the past that we've moved on.
Why don't you tinker with him on the bigger track?
Well, because he's not really going to go to the Meadowlands. Are we really worried about Landing Pad going to the New Jersey Sire Stakes? No. So he's not going to the Meadowlands.
He's not going to get around Northfield.
Why can't he? I mean, if he can't get around Northfield or he can't get around the Meadows, what's the point of having him? He's going to have to be effective at places he needs to be effective at. Right now, he's just a horse. Right now, he's a horse that has talent, has some speed, has some ability, has yet to put it all together in a proper situation. I'm not going to continue to, put crutches on him. All right, come on now, little fella. We're going to work the Mohawk.
I know what you're saying.
He's going to do his work where he's going to need to be effective. Because
to work with him.
I'm not going to make it easy on him. He's going to have a very difficult month of training.
That's fine. I just don't understand why you got to pay $500 to show him.
Because that's where he's going to have to race. Do you think we're going to have a spot for Landing Pad to race when all these 3-year-olds qualify and are ready for a maiden? Does it make sense to you that he likely would have a spot? No. He's likely not going to have a spot in Ontario to race at Mohawk, and I have zero interest in going to Flamborough or London with Landing Pad. He's eventually going to have to land over there to race likely at the Meadows or Northfield or Southern Ohio or New Jersey somewhere. But he's going to have to do it on a half-mile train. He's going to have to be an effective horse. His days of, babying him and tinkering with him, he's going to have to show me a little bit more, and I think this is the month he's going to have to do it. So I'll go with him on Tuesday. I'll assess him on Tuesday, but after that, there's a chance he may show up at Northfield Park. For now, Landing Strip has been training great. Now I haven't gone with him, but Jason has been. Again, Jason's pretty easygoing when it comes to the horses, and he doesn't really make a mental note or speak to me about this one's training great or that one's training great. We just kind of, hey, how's this one going? Oh, it's going pretty good. It's going pretty good. But he made a note to tell me how good Landing Strip and Tactical Mounts trained last week, so I can't wait to see them this week. Where are we at now? Leaps and Bounds. As I said, my personal favorite for this week training of all the horses I went with this week, I thought Leaps and Bounds impressed me the most. That's only because the expectations for Leaps and Bounds are moderate. Nice filly, over the type of horse that Landing Pad may likely end up being is how I think of Leaps and Bounds. I think she's a moderate, okay filly, but she beat some good horses and made them like it the other day in a way that was impressive. I was really, really taken aback by the way Leaps and Bounds looked. So anybody can do that. You got to put the heavy lifting in, and that's where Landing Pad is also. Merchant Man, I asked Harry. Harry is always very coy about the horses. I said, how's Merchant Man? He said, really, really good. That was his answer to me, or very, very good, one or the other. So Harry is obviously very smitten. See how I threw that word in? Smitten. Mm-hmm. Smitten with Merchant Man, which is good, because I like Merchant Man. And that's important for people to understand is Merchant Man was our best trainer last year in December, January, into the first part of February. He was one of our top prospects, and then just kind of went by the wayside. We gelded him, and he raced a bit, but he never really wowed anybody. Now, for Harry to be high on him, that's good. That's good. I'm impressed. Mo Power Baby's been training good also. We did the knees on Mo Power Baby and Cutie Cumber last week. Backed them both up a little bit the other day. Now, I'll probably train Mo Power Baby in 2.8 to 2.10 in the race bike this week when I'm in Ohio, but Cutie Cumber I aim to go back to that 1.5 mile training for her for a little bit. More Than You Know is qualified. Looked great qualifying. I can't wait to see him race this week. What's wrong? You're hot and tired. So why don't you go to sleep and we'll solve both of them? No, you keep watching until you fall asleep. All right, good. My 1% back in training now. I know a lot of people are asking about him. What's going on with this horse? What are we doing with this horse? I like the fact that everybody is looking for closure or some sort of directional pointing in my 1%. So I'm gonna make it as easy as I can for everybody. He is a 3-year-old. He's a baby that we broke just over a year ago, and he is coming on. He qualified in 2-1. He made breaks. Clearly there was something bothering him. I wanted to believe it was the corks because we didn't find much. His 4 ankles were a little bit rough, but that's racehorse stuff. That's horse stuff. There was no indications that there was any acute lameness anywhere. He just wasn't comfortable on the track. So I said to Dominic, rather than put a bunch of weight on him and make him do it, why don't we just wait till the corks come off, let him grow up for a couple of weeks, bring him back in and hit reset and start again. And I think that is the best course of action. Now, for anybody thinking or wondering, Adeline, hey, shh. For anybody worried about him, right? I own the very most of my 1%. So I'm trying to do what's best for this colt. I think he's a nice colt. I think he is going to have a decent sophomore season, but we have to do right by him. And just assuming that we can go to the vet and flip a switch and go to the track is just incorrect. It's not reality. You know, we did what we thought was best for him. We gave him a few weeks off, brought him back. If we have to put the weight on him, we have to make him trot in April, fine. But I wanted to get rid of what I thought was an obvious issue. You know, he qualified without the corks on in 2-1, and then we tried to race him with corks on, and he ran both times. So to me, it was a pretty obvious answer to what was wrong with my 1%. So that's where we're at with my 1%. I get everybody hears about everybody getting ready to qualify, and everybody's antsy. Just relax. You'll get there. Nothing But a Dreamer is getting there. He looks extremely good. Man, he is a lot of high hopes riding on this guy for Ontario. You know, I had somebody message me and say, you know, why didn't we put him in the Breeders' Crown? Why didn't we take him to Indiana? Well, the Breeders' Crown for us to race him in it would be a supplemental. We would have to pay $10,400 to pay him into the Breeders' Crown as a 3-year-old. And as much as I like him, Breeders' Crown is still the Breeders' Crown. Right? Those are the best horses on planet Earth. They're the best horses in North America anyway. And although I think we're going to have a very, very good year with Nothing But a Dreamer, paying $10,000 plus to race him in Indiana and then pay him into those other stake races just seemed like overkill to me. It just seemed like a lot that we didn't need. Oh my gosh, definitely didn't pay him in the Breeders' Crown. Just a horse. Trained the other day. He trained good the other day. I'll give credit where credit is due. He trained a mile in 2.5. Last half in 58, and Swinging Senorita was the one that coasted by me. So no slouch in that regard, and I thought he trained well. He's going into this week as a schooler, and I think he'll do pretty well. Where are we at now? Sir Strong, did they say he's jogging good, eh? Sam?
Well, he's been back on the walker for the last couple of days.
So I may train him a little bit on Tuesday, although he was in the stall for a week and he's only been on the walker for a few days, so it might make more sense to maybe wait till the end of the week to go with him. This is a guy that, so I took him to the vet. We had him completely looked at. The only thing they said was his knees bother him and his feet are sore. We addressed the foot sore problem. We changed his shoes, went to a mushroom bar, so that's literally picture what a mushroom would look like on a horse's foot. You know, the first half of the foot has a normal shoe, and then it goes straight over. And then the frog, the foot, the bar of the foot, the shoe goes right down in looks like a spade, right? The shoe. And it's meant to take pressure off the hind quarters of the foot, right? The back quarters of the foot. So we cut the foot into 4 pieces. 1, 2 is covered by the shoe. 3, 4 is open with a bar on the bottom. That's to take the pressure off these hind quarters of the foot. We'll see if that helps. I know we've had these on him in the past, but he is growing up a little bit more, and he is a little more mature. We are going to have to continue to work with this guy, and I do have my concerns with Sir Strong, but he's a worker, and he wants to come forward. So my hope is we find the right combination for him, or at least one that he's comfortable with. We can get him there in short order, but that will be up to him. Sister Solange right now is at Megan's barn. I wanted to talk to Megan about how she felt the filly is, if she's putting any weight on. I know she raced at Odds on Delray yesterday. We watched him race. I watched a replay of him a little while ago. I thought he raced well. Fourth, beat a length and a quarter in the mud. And Megan's had a lot of good results because she's smart where she puts her horses. You saw that last week with She's a Sassy Beach. Did a great job placing her in the right place. And Odds on Delray has raced well also. So Sister Solange, I'm eager to see where she's going to put her. Smoking Hot Irish Girl, again, I haven't gone with her. Jason has, but he said she's training down good. One of my top picks for 2023 for improvement-wise, I think, is Smoking Hot Irish Girl. As I said many, many times, I thought her best race of her entire life was the last race of the year that she had. I was very impressed with her, and I can't wait to see how she's going to do in 2023. Spitfire Overseas, James was again heaping praise on this guy. Just said he's been training great. I suspect he's been the same as Carter Michael Dio, between 215 and 220. They'll be ready in the next 4 weeks, and both of them look like powerhouses. Literally, Spitfire Overseas looked like he ate 2 horses.
They both do.
On his time off. He looks unbelievably huge right now. Swinging Senorita, as I said, 2.5 last half and 58 the other day. Thank you. 2.5, a little bit more, honey. A little bit lower. A little bit. One more. Thank you very much. So Swinging Senorita trained Austin the other day, but again, as I said to everybody, we want she will be ready for the Hackett, and she will be screwed in tight when she gets there. Tactical Mounds, Jason had said how well she's training. I haven't seen her. I want to see her this week. She's been training very, very good, I'm told. Tailgate Buzz, I saw train the other day. Jason Merriman went with him and said, Jesus, a nice horse. He trained very good. And I know he's a nice horse. I can't wait to see him ready to go. But as I said in an earlier video, wherever he needs to be to win is where he's going to be. So if he has to trot in 56, when he rolls into, which is likely the Meadows to race, he will be ready to trot in 56. You can be sure about that. Warwi Yuri, one of the most interesting horses of the entire grouping, actually, is Warwi Yuri. You know, here's a horse that we didn't really know, right? None of us knew. How's he going to be? What's he going to turn into? You know, how fast is he going to be? And I took it upon myself to answer some of those questions last week. I trained him myself, and I stretched him out a little bit. And what I saw was a horse that looked very, very impressive. Now, he said he just trained him on Saturday. We'll probably come back, train him Tuesday, and school him a little bit. I'd like to see him go 2.3, 2.4 on Friday at Mohawk. Be interested to see him do that. You know, Joe's track is pretty deep at the farm, so that mile in 2.9 was actually a pretty good mile, probably a mile in 2.5 at Mohawk. So train him another mile and a half or 2 miles, 2 trips on Tuesday, and then go back to school him on Friday. I'll talk to Mario, we'll see what we're going to do with him, but that makes the most sense to me. What a mission. What a mission. He's been another horse I haven't really seen yet, but Jason tells me he's been training good. I like what I see from him. He looks like a little pit bull now. He didn't get any taller, but he just got wider and stockier, and he looks sharp in the barn. I haven't seen him on the track yet, but Jason's been happy with him also. So those are all your 3-year-olds. All we got left is the race horses. I'm going to run through them in just a minute and be done for the afternoon. I'm not going to do the stables today. I'm not going to do a top 10 list today. I was away for most of the week, and you guys got to see all the horses in Ohio trained on Wednesday. You're going to see all the horses this Tuesday in Ontario. So there's no need for a top 10 list yet. Maybe do one on Tuesday or Wednesday. But for now, just get the aged horses coming up, and we're all done. Back in a minute.